Dr. Lover's trapped in Joe's bar?
Shut up and drive.
Time is running out.
Am I dying?
No one is dying.
Get my husband out of there!
We gotta get out of here before it collapses.
Back up!
The 2-hour crossover event, Thursday, January 23rd on ABC.
Wow. So the trailer for episode 10 is pretty freaking intense, but we'll talk about the trailer after we finish talking about the mid-season finale for season 16, titled Let's All Go to the Bar, which is an exceptionally hilarious title given how the episode ended. This episode was excellent. It didn't seem really like a mid-season finale until like the final 3 minutes of it, which I thought was kind of odd, because it just kind of felt like one of those basic background episodes, but then a lot of drama happened the last 3 minutes was intense drama, but then a lot of dramatic stuff happened with Bailey and Amelia, for example, towards the end, which brings it to the mid-season finale level. So let's discuss. The start of the episode had Christina texting Meredith, and it had a sister scene, so that instantly made it a classic episode to me. I like the fact that Christina is able to be involved in the show still, and to have one scene per episode of Maggie, Amelia, and Meredith together, it makes me happy. I love the three of them together. They need a lot of episodes. Honestly, if every 4 episodes in the shows, in the season's run, we can have them on a case, I'd be happy. I would say that Meredith felt kind of absent throughout the episode, but overall, I enjoyed what we got of her. Last week, Ellen Pompeo was so active. She was front and center. Meredith was Meredith. Last week's episode, is titled Grey's Anatomy. It was fully Grey's Anatomy. This episode, Meredith kind of got a bit of a break, or Ellen got a bit of a break. But, Meredith's main storyline was clashing with the new Peds chief, which I did thoroughly enjoy. He is no Alex, and, it looks like it's setting up a new love triangle, because at the end of the episode, she gets a text from Christina saying, "I'm not sending you a package, I'm sending you him." And she called him Mick Widow, which I thought was kind of insulting, but whatever. And now we have a possible new love triangle, and I have to say this. I absolutely hate love triangles for a long period of time. We went through so much to get Meredith and Derek together with Addison, and I love Addison. And then we had the whole problem of getting Meredith with DeLuca with Link. So now to have Mick Widow and to have DeLuca be on the sides to some level is a little annoying. She already was with DeLuca, and they're essentially on a break. They're not broken up. I just can't stand another dramatic love triangle for, God. If it lasts more than 3 episodes, I will be very much over that storyline. Excuse me, 1 second. I'm super, super thirsty. So, anyway, this episode had a lot of characters in it. Catherine was front and center. Debbie Allen is fantastic. I really, really love her. But what's interesting is Debbie Allen had more scenes than Richard. Or, Debbie Allen had more scenes than James Fickett Jr., which is very, very interesting. And, Catherine's first scene is seeing Jackson with Vic, and you see that Catherine doesn't improve Vic, because, honestly, Catherine's a little stuck up, and Jackson goes from dating a surgeon to a firefighter. Career-wise, it is a step down. So I understand Catherine's dislike of Vic right away. But then I did enjoy the bonding scene that Catherine and Jackson had in the beginning of the episode, and then at the end of the episode when Jackson is trying to calm her down because Catherine believed Richard is having an affair. I did like that as well. So Debbie Allen did absolutely fantastic throughout this episode, and I was very happy with her scenes. I want to see more of her, and I want her and Richard to get over the problems. I ship Richard and Catherine. I think they are a very, very strong couple. So let's bring them back together. Honestly, let's also bring Meredith back together with DeLuca. Let's keep our couples together and get rid of them, and get them off their breaks. Excuse me. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Bailey and Amelia bonding over being pregnant. I thought those scenes were so much fun. There's a really great chemistry between the two actresses. Katerina and Chandra there's a bond there. Katerina's been on the show since I believe, she's had guest appearances in season 7 through season 10, and then she was a full-on main character in season 11. And I don't remember a ton of scenes with her and Bailey together, but there's a good chemistry there. And then, one of the dramas I was talking about earlier in the review is Bailey losing the baby. And it was sad and upsetting, don't get me wrong. And I also love the fact that Bailey didn't have the heart to tell Amelia what was happening with her baby. But I don't understand why the showrunners or the writers of the show wanted to make her pregnant for like 4 or 3 episodes and then have her lose it. I mean, she could have been pregnant for a couple more episodes and then lose it just to make it a little bit more dramatic. But I guess they need to make the season finale as dramatic as we possibly could by having a character lose a baby. I mean, a character on the show hasn't lost a baby, I believe, since April. I mean, April's baby died. Samuel died because of the disease he had where his bones kept breaking. And that was a super sad scene. But miscarrying, I believe the last person that miscarried was Meredith way back in season 6. So more drama to add to the episode is Amelia being pregnant with not Link's baby, but Owen's baby. Man, Owen is super, super fertile. It's actually, it's hilarious. Let's be honest here. But there's another bit of drama that we have with this episode. So we have Bailey losing. First off, we have the gigantic car crash at the end of the episode. And then we have Bailey losing her baby, Amelia being pregnant with the wrong baby. And I was just like, let's maybe not have that happen. But, you know, it's going to add humor. But then there'll also be some serious ramifications. I mean, this is going to keep... I mean, Owen and Amelia are in each other's lives because of Leo, but now Owen and Amelia are going to be tied together forever because Amelia is not aborting this baby, and who knows what could happen with Link. I just said a minute ago, let's not have these characters on a break. This is going to probably force Amelia and Link apart. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. I don't have a prediction of that. But again, there's another drama to add for us to watch it through the next 12 to 14 episodes after Grey's Anatomy comes back in January. This episode also had Link and Joe. Their friendship was shown several times for this episode, and we'll talk about the ending scene with Link and Joe, because again, that's another dramatic event, because it was really good. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But I really just like seeing Link and Joe's friendship be fleshed out. I mean, we talked about how they had how they've known each other for a long time, and we never really got to see that in a flashback, which I doubt we'll ever get. But I like the characters at least having moments on the show. If you're a Station 19 fan, I'm sorry, but I thoroughly believe that Station 19 needs to go. I don't care about the characters. I mean, Captain Herrera is back on the show. He's sick with cancer. The firefighters they're boring. I mean, I'm sorry, I think Vic is boring. I don't care about Station 19. I like Ben. Don't get me wrong. I like seeing Ben. I like Jason George. I think he's a great actor. I like him as Bailey's husband. I don't care about the firefighter stuff at all. I really liked Private Practice. I thought Private Practice was a great spinoff. I think Station 19 is boring. I've watched several episodes of it, and I don't see the appeal. But speaking of Station 19, Joe signed up to be a volunteer firefighter, and not firefighter, a volunteer to pick up abandoned babies. And I really did like that. I thought that was very therapeutic for Joe, more or less. And then I really like Ben and Joe's bonding scenes with the baby in the fire station. So overall, I very much enjoyed Joe's scenes throughout this episode as well. And so more drama to add to it. We have Joe keeping the baby as opposed to putting it into the system. Joe clearly wants to stop babies from being abandoned. She has some form of connection to this baby, so now she's keeping it. Will she and Alex adopt it? Who knows? Now, speaking of Alex, he wasn't in this episode. Why wouldn't you put Justin Chambers in a mid-season finale? It felt a little absent, especially since he is the head of surgery at Pac North. So I was like, that's a little odd. But I guess his character wasn't needed because, honestly, Owen felt very absent. Owen's one moment in this episode involved when Richard said to him, you have Teddy's being the mother to 2 of your children and you haven't been asked her to marry her. So I thought that was interesting because then Karasik brought that up later because now we have like Kim Raver's character of Teddy, who I love and did many things this episode, and that's my transition to talking about Maggie and Teddy's storyline. But that one line with Owen is how it's going to add drama to Owen and Teddy's storyline going forward beyond the baby, because now Teddy has doubts about Owen because it's possible he might go to Amelia because now he has babies with 2 different women. So let's talk about Maggie and Teddy. Maggie is going through a lot, and her and Richard still haven't made up, which is very frustrating for me. I love Maggie and Richard. I think Kelly McKeary and James Pickett Jr. have an excellent chemistry, and we need them to reconcile. I mean, they're father and daughter. And I know what happened to Sabrina was horrible, and Maggie's grieving makes sense, but we need Maggie to have some form of support because I think she feels very isolated, especially since she's not talking about her feelings to Meredith or Amelia. So I like how Maggie brought Teddy into her surgery throughout the episode. I think Kelly and Kim have a great chemistry. Overall, I liked how Teddy was calming Maggie down throughout the surgery. And then because of what happened in the surgery where the patient's heart went to restart, Maggie quit. More drama right there. And then we have Karasik saying to Teddy, because Teddy goes to confront Karasik about why would you fire Maggie? He's like, no, she, before he get a word in, because she quit, he didn't fire her. Kim just goes crazy on Karasik, saying like, there's no future. I love Owen, and then he puts that little seed of guilt, that little seed of doubt in Teddy's mind, and I'm like, okay, more and more drama. So now Teddy's doubting Owen. Amelia's pregnant with Owen's baby. Maggie quit. From Grace Sloan. Bailey lost the baby. That's a lot. Now, also throughout the episode, or at least there was one fun scene where Teddy said she might leave to go to Pac North to be the head of cardio there. She does have options. I think Maggie's going to come back to the show. I mean, she's just going to have probably a few episodes where she's not in the hospital. It might only be one. Who knows? It might not even be a full episode. But a lot of characters are going to Pac North, so Maggie or Teddy could end up chief at Pac North. This is a hospital that needs a chief, and right now Grace Sloan has a chief. Maggie will at some point need a job. Last thing to talk about is Schmidt is dealing with the consequences of what he did to Meredith. Honestly, I really liked how Schmidt got to be upset last week, but he's not portraying the guilt here at all, which it's whatever. I mean, Kim was in this episode, and I thought, or Alex Landy was playing, Alex Landy, is playing Nico Kim. I don't care about him. Link was more interesting with Joe, and knocking DeLuca down a peg. That's the last thing I want to talk about. Is DeLuca said Meredith doesn't respect me, and I really liked how Link was like, well, she respects you, but she's not your equal. So I really liked how that happened, and essentially brought DeLuca to realize, maybe I shouldn't have said this to Meredith and let me get back together with her. But let's hope that happens, because we don't want to have a love triangle. And as I said, Schmidt was kind of meh throughout the episode. And then the end was crazy with that, with the car going into Joe's bar. I mean, that's Grey's Anatomy for you. But we had so much drama at the end of the episode. But it's like light drama. It's not like people dying in a plane crash. It's not a gunman shooting up the hospital. So the hospital catching on fire. It's real life situations, which I think is more relatable, quite honestly, than these crazy, dramatic situations that happened in prior episodes of the show. I mean, losing a baby happens. Being pregnant, getting pregnant by someone else happens, or being pregnant by thinking you're pregnant by one person and then it happens to be someone else. It happens. Being doubtful of your relationship. It happens. Quitting your job because of some form of depression happens. And all those elements, or doubting your husband that he's having an affair with Catherine. All of those storylines are very prevalent, to real life. And I think this will allow season 16 to hit home very much. I said many times season 16 is reminding me of season 8, and I feel it. Like, season 8 is an excellent season, and season 16 is really excellent as well. I mean, every storyline had me entertained. I just really wish that Richard had more scenes throughout the episode, but it was fun. I mean, we've talked about this episode for 13 minutes. I haven't even touched the trailer review. So, I mean, overall, I just thoroughly enjoyed what I saw here, and I'm looking forward to episode 10 so much. And I'm really curious what you guys have to say about episode 9 in the comments below. Now let's talk about episode 10. And what's interesting to me about episode 10 is, like last year before we went to the mid-season finale, or before we went on break, no episode information was released at all, which drives me insane. We literally have no title, and once we get a title, I'll make a video. I need 3 stories. Hopefully we'll get like a title and a trailer. If we get a trailer, another trailer for episode 10, I will just use that and to talk about the title, because the title hopefully will lead to some more information about the episode. But we just have Grey's Anatomy season 16 episode 10 returns Thursday, January 23rd at a new time slot, 9 p.m. Now the new time slot means it's interesting. What it means essentially is the writing can be a little bit more TV 14. The 8 p.m. time slot is more family time. So now the writers of the show can go back to more sex scenes if they want to. They can show more blood. They really weren't restricted from all those things, but it was died down because of that time slot, and now with a 9 o'clock slot, it can be amped back up. I mean, if you remember, like, you know, earlier scenes of the show where there was a lot of sex scenes, they can come back. I mean, How to Get Away with Murder was in the 10 o'clock time slot, and has a ton of them. I used to watch that show, but I don't like it anymore. But anyway, off topic of that, the show being at 9 is going to allow for more intense drama to occur. So, you know, what we have is the car went into the bar, and then we have Jackson and Ben in the bar, and then we have Helm and Schmidt. It looks like Schmidt, Helm's in a lot of trouble. Schmidt is dealing with, I'm assuming it's a patron of the bar. And then we have Bailey screaming about her husband. And that's just really, it's just showing the intense drama that the episode is going to have. And I wish it was cut a little better to show something, to show more characters reacting to it. But it's just, okay, these characters are stuck in a bar, and who knows what's going to happen to them. I mean, will the ceiling collapse? Will they suffocate and die? Let's hope that's not the case. I mean, someone could die, but it's so early for a character to die. Character deaths tend to be at the end of the seasons. Like Lexi died at the end of season 8. I know Mark died in episode 2 of season 9. Actually died in episode 1, but then he had another episode. And in episode 2 was in another episode of season 9, episode 2. But his death was a result of episode 24 of season 8. So it was just an endless storyline. But George died in at the end of season. At the beginning of season 1. So it's like the beginning and the end is when characters die. I mean, Derek technically died in 22, I believe, of season 11, but it wasn't like flat in the middle. So character deaths are reserved for like penultimate episodes or premieres or finales. Like the mid-season premiere is a premiere, don't get me wrong, but it's not one that will allow for a death. That's my expectation. No one will die in episode 10. Fingers crossed on that. But the trailer also said it's a 2-hour crossover event with Station 19. Personally, I don't want more Station 19 on the show. I think having Vic is enough. Having Ben is great. Let's bring Ben back almost full time. But I really could live without more Station 19. But overall, what could happen with Jackson, Ben, and even Helm, I'm interested. I'm curious what's going to happen. I wish we had some more information about the episode, just because it's so bloody sparse. But I'm also really curious what Meredith's role in the episode will be. Now, you know, poor Bailey, you know, she barely got to grieve the loss of her child, and now Ben's in trouble, so she's like there's gonna be possibly some PTSD going on with Bailey and Ben. You know, Ben dealing with the trauma of being stuck, and then Bailey dealing with that trauma, and then we're gonna have Bailey come back. Oh wait, my baby's gone. So who knows what's going to be going on with their storylines in the future. There's a lot. Again, this episode led to a lot of potential amazing storylines that are very realistic, none of which are reflected in the trailer, because the trailer wants you to take focus on the literal intense drama, like the plane crash, like the shooting. You know, we have a car crash that's going to cause people to possibly die. Again, I doubt there will be death. So the trailer is just really focusing on the literal damage, not the personal damage that's going to happen to several other characters, particularly Meredith DeLuca and Teddy, Amelia, and Owen, and also Bailey as well, because Bailey's might end up in depression, and Maggie's in a depression of her own. So again, the trailer is making us forget about the potential storylines, even though there's so many, because again, we just want to see this crazy, intense, action-packed premiere. But honestly, I'm more interested in the personal storylines because it's more relatable. But again, I like what we saw. I just wish we saw a little bit of the other stuff. The show is so diverse in what it has for content that it's a little bit of a bummer from the trailer's perspective that it doesn't give the other side. It just gives the full-on action drama. So overall, I thought the trailer was, you know, it's one-sided. You know, it's only one storyline, but that one storyline will be the majority of the episode. But I'm looking forward thoroughly to season 16, part B. And I'm really curious what you guys have to say about that as well. So this review is super, super long, probably my longest Grey's Anatomy review ever. But the mid-season finale just had a lot to process, and the trailer is leading to an intense storyline and the next part of the season, which is going to have a lot to process as well. So anyway, share your thoughts in the comments below about both the episode that just aired and the episode that will air. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk wrestling about Grey's Anatomy. All right, guys. Bye.